Gaming PC versus gaming laptop. Everyone always debates which one is better, but I'm gonna be buying the best $500 gaming PC and laptop to see which one you should finally buy. But finding a gaming laptop for $500 with a graphics card is basically impossible. There are quite a few $500 gaming laptops or cheaper ones that you can buy. However, the issue is they're using integrated graphics, so they're not the best gaming laptop that you can buy. A lot of these gaming laptops don't look too bad. Like this one has 5-star reviews. It has a pretty good CPU, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a decent amount of storage, but the issue with it is it's just not going to be that powerful because it literally doesn't have a graphics card. So if you're gaming on high settings or basically doing any kind of like serious gaming at all, it's going to have way too much stuttering. So you definitely want to make sure that whatever gaming laptop you buy, it has a dedicated graphics card. That's like the most important thing, especially since I'm trying to buy literally the best $500 gaming laptop. And you basically run into the exact same issue no matter where you shop. Like as you guys can see, this one even has 32 gigabytes of RAM, which is really good, but it's just using integrated graphics. All of these laptops over here, even from like name brands, Lenovo, like I think it's just that RAM prices are so expensive or PC parts are just so expensive in 2026 that it basically makes this impossible. Even Temu, which is known for being one of the cheapest websites on the internet, even their gaming laptops are basically all using integrated graphics. So it simply is just so hard to actually find a gaming laptop with a graphics card, but your boy is determined. So one of the only options we have is buying a refurbished laptop. So it is used, but it means it was repaired and fixed up. This one actually has an RTX 3050, an Intel i5 13th gen, which is really good, 8 gigabytes of RAM. That isn't really the best, but they do have a few options over here. What I'm gonna look, even this one looks really good. It has an RTX 3060, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a i7. It's from a name brand. They say read. Does it have any issues on it? Like why exactly does it say read? Cosmetic wear, including scratches and corner damage, does not affect performance. I literally don't care about it. I fully opened and cleaned it, dusted it. Oh, even dusted all the fans opening up. Honestly, this guy seems like a really good seller. He sold 40 items, 100% positive feedback. Okay, there even is a video over here that we can actually watch. You definitely can see there is quite a lot of tear on it. RGB on it looks really good. Okay, there is a lot of wear and tear on it. Like you can definitely tell it's been used. Even did pop up a screenshot for proof of the specs. So this actually does seem like one of the options. We do have, oh my gosh, RTX 4050, 16 gigabytes of RAM and a Core i5. Even this one over here, another RTX 4050 one. I mean, dude, this is very compelling. To be honest, especially compared to the other laptops we were seeing, this does seem very good. You literally can buy $500 gaming laptops with an RTX 4050 from a name brand, an HP Victus one, 144 hertz refresh rate. It's an RTX 4050, 16 gigs of RAM. This is actually really good. However, there are a lot of options you can choose from. Like there literally are like so many different laptops. And actually, again, we have the same seller, Colt's Game Gear. He has 100% like feedback. So he has a few laptops. He knows what he's doing, it looks like. One thing I actually am curious about is I actually don't know what's better, an RTX 4050 or an RTX 3060. So I'm just gonna search this up. Which one does have better performance? And it's the laptop one. Okay, so the RTX 3060 does have way better performance. And let me see. Okay, so even on this video, the RTX 3060 is faster by about 10%, even though the 4050 is newer and uses newer VRAM. So I actually think we're just gonna look for a used gaming laptop with an RTX 3060. That kind of seems like our best option here. So I've been searching around for quite a while and I narrowed it down to a few options. I just want to show you guys though, if you're looking on eBay for an RTX 3060 laptop, there are so many different options you can get for $500. So I'm kind of just showing you guys exactly why I ultimately decided to go on this one. It is a little bit more pricey, but the condition of the laptop looks a lot better. There are only a few wear and tear things on it. It's from a huge seller. He has literally 150,000 reviews, so you know you're getting something legit, especially since he has like good reviews. And the charger is included, the laptop is included, card. We have an RTX 3060 Core i7 11th gen, 16 gigabytes of RAM. And the only bad things about the laptop, which I love that he's being completely honest, and he even has a condition rating, is the screen has a few like wear and tear items. There are some scratches. Basically, the biggest issue is that the spacebar is a little bit hard to press, but we always can use another spacebar, and this guy will literally ship it out the next business day. He gives us a 12-month limited warranty on eBay, so my boy, like a whole brand at this point. Plus, the laptop itself is from MSI, which is a name brand, and preferably you want to go with a name brand, not like a random Chinese one. It just basically guarantees you're going to get a better quality laptop. This took a long time to try and find the best $500 gaming laptop I could possibly find on the internet. So after so much searching, we're going to be adding this one to the cart. It was super hard to find a gaming laptop for $500, so hopefully it's easier to find a gaming PC. To be honest, I think it's going to be way easier to find a good $500 gaming PC because basically all of these automatically have graphics cards, and it's just a matter of finding the best gaming PC with like the best graphics card and best overall specs. Obviously, now that I know the specs of the laptop, I'm going to want a gaming PC that has similar, if not probably better specs. It might be a little bit hard because I'm not going to buy a used gaming PC. I want to at least get one of these new. So far, just searching around, this looks like the best gaming PC spec-wise. It has a Core i7, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and a GTX 1660 Super, which is pretty much like the same thing as an RTX 3060 in terms of performance, but I don't really like the way it looks. I know I don't really have room to be picky with this budget. I'm still going to try and find the best PC for you guys though. The RX 590 is actually a really good graphics card, but it's not going to compete to the RTX 3060. This PC actually looks kind of good. I've never seen a PC with like a little screen on the air cooler, so this one is actually very unique. It definitely could be an option. However, the reviews on it are a little low, so we're definitely going to try and find something a little bit better. This gaming PC looks so sick, but it only has a 4 gigabyte graphics card, and I'm pretty sure the RTX 3060 is a 6 gigabyte graphics card, so we're definitely going to look for a gaming PC that has like basically the same specs. They all seem to be liking these RX or AMD graphics cards. Let me actually just search up gaming PC RTX and let me just see what pops up. So unfortunately, with the filters, it actually looks like they don't have any. The closest thing that we found so far on Amazon specifically is a GTX 1660 Super, but yeah, no RTX 2060s by the looks of it. I know Walmart isn't specifically known for having good gaming PCs, but I'm really trying to look at all of my options to find the best gaming PC I possibly can. They actually do have a lot of gaming PCs, but just like Amazon, they look very similar. They all have like these AMD graphics cards, so let me just quickly check RTX. Do they have any with like an RTX graphics card? Oh my, it's right over $500. It's $610. If one of you guys do have the budget to go over, you could actually buy this one with an RTX 2060. Let me see what they have with a GTX. We might honestly just get a gaming PC with like a GTX 1660 Super if there is. Oh my, this one, okay, the review on it is bad, but it does look like a good gaming PC. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM, a GTX 1660 Super, Core i7, so they didn't say what actual Core i7 it has, but it does have 512 gigabytes of RAM. What is the 3-star rating? Is it like bad? Nice, but was missing a cord. So John is basically saying the gaming PC isn't bad, but it's missing a cord. Does he mean it's just missing an HDMI? Because there's no way it's missing the power cord. They say it has a DisplayPort, 2 HDMIs, and it definitely has the power cord. Plus, since we're ordering from a name brand, we actually do get warranties and all that type of stuff. So this does actually seem kind of good. I think it actually looks really, really good. It has 6 RGB, actually 5 RGB fans, plus like the 1 CPU air cooler. It looks really good though. Honestly, I might have to get this. I thought it would be easier to find a good gaming PC, but clearly the RAM prices and like PC part prices are like really affecting the market right now. So we also could get a white version. Is it more expensive? Okay, I have to go for the white one. Dude, I just have to. I love all white gaming PCs, and it also looks like this one comes with 2 sticks of RAM, whereas the black one I think only had, oh no, dude, the white one just has way cooler looking RAM. It actually comes with RGB RAM. We're definitely going to be ordering the white one. I want to see if it's actually legit, and it does come with the white RAM, but dude, this looks really good. They do have a video as well. Yeah, I think we should be getting RGB RAM. I think the white gaming PC just definitely looks way better, and I mean, a 1660 Super isn't that different. It still is a 6 gigabyte graphics card, and it actually looks like both the gaming PC and laptop both cost the exact same price at $570. Let's order both of them and we can finally see what's better, a gaming PC or gaming laptop. It took a lot longer than I expected to find a good gaming PC and laptop for $500, but I ordered both of them. And the shipping of the gaming laptop actually was extremely quick. The seller sent it in only 2 days. And even though this is a used gaming laptop, it looks like they did definitely put some good packaging in here. We have a ton of packing peanuts all over the place, but if we take this out, here is the charger, which is amazing, just to make sure we actually have the charger included. And then inside of this bubble wrap, so even more packaging, we have the gaming laptop. I really hope the condition of it is not bad, and immediately taking it out of the box, it actually looks very, very good. Like, even on camera, you guys can see there is a little bit of wear and tear on it. Nothing too bad at all. You can tell it has been used, but like even then barely. Like the fans over here on the bottom, they don't have a ton of dust. There's not that many scratches on it at all. Overall, it looks really good, but now let's actually open up the screen and make sure we have no cracks. Dude, this actually looks really, really good. It is sometimes a little bit risky buying a used product on eBay, especially a used gaming laptop, because sometimes they're like very used and you can tell they have a lot of wear. But this one, it looks like we might have lucked out. We really got a pretty good looking laptop. And one thing that's weird about it is an MSI laptop. However, I see SteelSeries over here. It's kind of hard to see. It has like some SteelSeries text. I don't know if these are like SteelSeries speakers or something, but yeah, overall, I have to say the quality of this laptop feels very, very good. It doesn't feel like something I can bend. It actually feels very, very premium. So it looks like so far we got a pretty decent deal. However, let's try and power it on. I am not sure if there is any charge on it. We might need to actually plug it in to turn it on. Okay, so it does look like it doesn't have any charge, but that is not an issue because we of course have the charger here, so we can also make sure that the laptop gets charged and it works perfect. Okay, so the laptop is now plugged in, so let's try and actually power it on. I already see a little light over here. It is saying it's orange, so I'm assuming it's like completely dead. It might take a second to actually get some charge. Okay, there we go. Laptop turned on for a second, and then it turned off, but I think that's completely just like the normal startup. There we go. And it actually looks like the screen quality on it is really, really good. Even on camera, like looking at it from an angle, it doesn't have as much like glare as I expect it to have. Let me just wait for it to fully turn on and you guys can see a little bit easier. And there we go. It is completely factory reset, as you guys can see from the starting Windows logo. But now that we actually have the laptop fully turned on, what I want to show you guys is look at the quality of it. When I turn it, you can see it does dim out, but it isn't as bad as I've seen on other panels and like other laptop screens like that I bought at this price point. I want to see what the max brightness actually looks like. Okay, I think this is max brightness. Screen quality is very, very nice on this laptop. Like honestly, this is looking very, very good. And I am not sponsored at all. Obviously, I had to buy this with my own money, but what I would recommend if some of you guys do try to go with this strategy is make sure you're buying from like a professional eBay reseller with like a ton of reviews. Try not to buy from like a random person with 2 reviews on eBay, because then you can have like laptops that are not in the condition they said, but this is like fully tested. And if I specifically remember, the seller did say that the space bar was like sticky and hard to press. Comparing it to the other keys, it's actually not bad at all. Like, dude, if they didn't even mention that, I would not even realize that. I'm actually gonna game with it just to even prove that I think it's perfectly fine. So yeah, overall, the condition of the laptop for a used laptop looks absolutely amazing. It's completely factory reset. It looks to be working perfectly fine. And another one of the small issues they did say it had was some missing screws. And looking around, okay, I do see one missing screw, I think right over there, and that's literally it. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that's gonna affect the performance at all. In terms of this laptop itself, it actually says that this laptop was $1,800. This was back in 2021, so this is 5 years ago, but that just shows you how insane of a deal you can find used on eBay. This is an $1,800 gaming laptop that we bought for under $600, so around $500, and it's looking like an absolute steal. But let's talk about the specs of it, because it is like probably a 5-year-old laptop, even though I would say for a 5-year-old laptop, the condition of it is really nice. FPS. So first off, for this screen, it is actually only 1920 by 1080, but it is 15 inches, and I would say it's a pretty good size. It's not too big or too small. I think it's literally the perfect size, to be honest. Now, one of the main reasons I, of course, bought this gaming laptop, like I mentioned earlier, is because it has 16 gigabytes of RAM. This is gonna be huge for not only multitasking, but also for gaming, because most gaming laptops at this price point have only 8 gigabytes of RAM, and that just really holds back the laptop's performance. So in 2026, I would pretty much strictly recommend only getting a laptop if it has more than 8 gigabytes of RAM, because 8 gigs of RAM in 2026 just is really, really hard to work with. But for the processor or CPU inside of our used gaming laptop, it is a Core i7, and it's an 11th gen one with 2.3 gigahertz. So obviously it isn't like the fastest processor in the world, but it is an 8-core CPU, and especially paired with the graphics card inside of this laptop, which is the RTX 3060, we should be getting some very, very good performance, not only gaming on 1080p on games like Minecraft, but also if we try out games like Call of Duty, Fortnite on higher settings. So overall, spec-wise, this gaming laptop, with the condition it's in, even though it's 5 years old, I think we should be getting some amazing performance. But the only way to actually see the performance of the laptop is by actually completely setting it up and testing it out. But now it's finally time for the real test, which is to see how the laptop performs. So before I got into any gaming, I ran a quick benchmark on it to see the gaming score and how each part was performing. Since this gaming laptop is used, I actually really want to run a quick benchmark on it to see how each component really is, because if this laptop is a few years old, maybe the GPU or CPU probably aren't performing at like their peak or how they were brand new. So let's just see the condition of everything. I think this is something really, really good to do, especially when you're buying something used, just to see the condition of your like GPU, and maybe it's completely busted and it's just like completely destroyed because it's like 5 years old. So I'm actually very curious to see how this is, because this is probably the biggest difference between a used or a brand new laptop. And of course, if you have a gaming laptop, you always want to make sure that it's actually plugged into the charger, because this like triples the performance. If you're on the charger, it's just really inconsistent performance and you're not getting anywhere as good FPS. So we just got the results of the benchmark, and it actually looks like we have a 9% score for gaming and 80% for the desktop. So I was curious why it was so low, and it's actually because it's detecting we have integrated graphics. However, if I go into Task Manager, and inside of the Performance tab, we clearly can see we have the RTX 3060. So I was just double checking that I didn't need to update the drivers or anything. So that is a little bit weird, but what is very interesting and what does make sense, since it is like a very old laptop, 5 years, not the oldest, but it does say that our CPU and RAM are performing below their expectations and below their potential, which makes sense. It is kind of old. That doesn't mean it's gonna be bad for gaming though. As soon as I load into Minecraft, it looks like we're able to get around 150 to 200 FPS fairly consistently, and this is just on all default video settings. And another thing that I want to mention is it does feel very smooth, because this is actually a 240 hertz display. I forgot to mention that when I was unboxing it, but that is really, really good about this laptop, is we literally get like a 240 hertz display. One thing I actually do notice is that definitely the spacebar is a little bit sticky like they mentioned, but I mean, gameplay wise on default settings, it actually feels really, really good. We're literally getting like 200 to 300 FPS, and if we just stare up at the sky and don't touch anything, we're getting 300. However, if we want to get more FPS, we can lower everything all the way down, and it looks like the FPS increases a little bit to around 350, but where it mainly increases is like in just like normal gameplay. You can see it's getting very, very close to 400 FPS. However, it's not really getting anything higher than that, but these are really, really low settings that like people wouldn't play on. However, the main thing I want to point out is that the CPU temperature is 92 to 93 degrees. That is extremely hot. If I had to guess, the thermal paste in this CPU is absolutely absolutely cooked for being 5 years old. So that is probably the biggest downside of buying a used laptop, because yeah, the specs on paper are pretty good, but as soon as you actually test it out, especially if we go on higher settings over here, it might start to have a lot of frame drops just because the PC components are like worn down a little bit. And I mean, just a laptop in general also has very, very hot temperatures because it's a laptop. It's a very, very confined space, and that's definitely one of the biggest downsides of the laptop. But on the bright side, the laptop does have a 240 hertz display, and you can like carry this around and travel with it. So I mean, performance wise though, I am honestly very, very happy with it. And I mean, we are gaming on like pretty high Minecraft settings. I can even make it like higher, like the distance, and I think this is where we're gonna have like a bit more lag. It's like as it's trying to render in new things, you can see the FPS is still at like over 100. Like this is more than playable, and it honestly has like barely any frame drops at all. It's still averaging like around 80 to 100 FPS, and this is without any shaders or optimizations. Plus, you guys can see you could actually squeeze a little bit more out of this laptop because the GPU usage is around 50% and the CPU usage is around like 60 to 70. And so like overall, I would actually say it's not that bad. And for how old this laptop probably is, I think this is definitely a pass on Minecraft at least. Minecraft performed pretty good without any issues. However, when I tried opening up Fortnite, I ran into an issue. One thing I quickly want to mention as I'm loading up Fortnite is it honestly is taking quite a while. I did notice that even in Minecraft. So it seems like the laptop is a little bit delayed when you're actually trying to open things up. I think it's because it has a hard drive and not an SSD. So yeah, opening things up do definitely take a little bit. Honestly, it's taking a little bit too long. I think it might have crashed, or I'm gonna try reopening it because the laptop definitely bugged out. Let's just fully restart it because it definitely is taking way too long to load. Okay, so after restarting the laptop, it honestly loaded into Fortnite very, very fast. So it might have just been a one-time type of glitch, but yeah, loading in, it actually loaded in really, really quick into Fortnite. Okay, it is a little bit laggy inside of Fortnite though, that is for sure. This is definitely a lot harder for the laptop to run compared to Minecraft for sure. Okay, so I was just trying to change the settings and Fortnite literally crashed. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect this laptop to be having these type of issues like at all. This is like not that good that it's literally crashing on Fortnite inside of the lobby. You definitely don't want to be seeing that, but let's try relaunching Fortnite. I might have to update the drivers again just to like double check, but like honestly, it should not be crashing on Fortnite. Okay, honestly, I checked the drivers on this laptop and they are very, very old. They were not updated for so long. So instead of just trying to open up Fortnite again, I'm just gonna go ahead and download new drivers for the RTX 3060. So all we need to do is go in here. There we go. We have the RTX 3060 laptop GPU. So let's go ahead, find this, and we're just gonna fully update it because honestly, you probably should do this, and I probably should have done this from the get-go because yeah, the performance should definitely be a lot better now that we actually have updated drivers. The laptop definitely feels smoother. Hopefully I'm not speaking too soon, but the new drivers are fully updated, and what we're gonna be gaming on is 1920 by 1080 and on performance mode. Just feeling the laptop, I actually can feel it a little bit hot. I'm not gonna lie. It definitely does get pretty hot, so let's just see how good it is for gaming. But yeah, especially near the top left over here, it is getting a little bit toasty. But the performance inside of creative is actually not that bad at all. It is getting around 144 FPS very, very consistently. But I think one of the biggest things holding this laptop back is the fact that the CPU and GPU are like very, very hot. You can see that the usage on them is actually not that high. Like they're both under 50%, but I think that the temperature of it being inside of a laptop is definitely holding it back a little bit. And let's just go ahead and make sure we are on low settings because yeah, these are like way too high set. It actually is on like pretty much low settings, but I'm just gonna put it on the lowest settings possible over here. And this is DX12 with NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency on, and let's just see how much FPS we get in a real game. Inside the battle bus, we are able to get around 80 FPS, around 100-ish, but yeah, it definitely is a lot harder for the laptop to run. And as you guys can see, our CPU is pretty much maxed out on performance. performance. And it just really goes to show that with a $500 budget in 2026, it's very, very hard to buy a good performing or decent performing like gaming laptop. Like, look at how much frame drops and everything we're getting. We're literally only getting 50 FPS, which is honestly really, really bad. Like, this is pretty much unplayable. And this isn't even with me screen recording or doing any kind of like content creation, which I know a lot of people like to do. So yeah, this laptop on low settings is actually struggling quite a bit. However, what I'm gonna do is actually go over here and lower this all the way down to 720p. So it won't actually be that noticeable that we're on 720p because a laptop screen is a lot smaller. So we are on half the amount of pixels, and even on this, you can see our temperatures are like very, very high, and we're still getting like pretty high like amount of like frame drops. It honestly is just not that good to game on at all. And yeah, we're not even getting like 60 FPS consistently. Real quick, just for fun, let's even go back on 1080p, and I'm gonna go on max settings. I just want to see if the laptop is even able to run it or if it crashes. But the laptop for the most part pretty much seems completely cooked. But let's just go ahead, save it on epic settings. So this is gonna basically max out the graphics card like performance wise. Yeah, you guys can see the graphics card literally went to like 100% there. We're now at like 60-70% on the graphics card. It actually seems like it's pretty much the same. And obviously Fortnite is like a more CPU based game, but I mean, we are actually maxing out the GPU, and you guys can see the GPU seems to be holding up pretty much fine. So it might even be just mainly a CPU issue with this, but this actually completely shocked me. It actually is getting pretty much the exact same performance on low settings as it was on high settings right now. It's just forced to use a lot of the GPU. Yeah, the temperatures are just so hot on this, to be honest. It just is like very, very hard for it to run. So honestly, at this price point, I definitely would not recommend buying a gaming laptop, but maybe the gaming PC is better. Overall, for a $500 gaming laptop, it did perform decent on low settings. However, definitely could not run anything higher. But how does the $500 gaming PC compare? Obviously, the gaming PC is way bigger, but the main thing I'm actually focused on is making sure how the gaming PC looks, and I'm expecting it to be really good since this was literally bought off of Newegg and it's not even used or anything like that. Inside of this already really big box, we have another box which I think is just for the gaming PC itself. So the packaging is actually really good, and there's even more inside too. So deep inside of here, it looks like we have the graphics card box, obviously the GTX 1660 Super, and I think they added it in a different box just so we add it into the PC ourselves and it doesn't get damaged. And then inside of this box, this is probably like Wi-Fi cables. Yeah, so we have like a SATA cable, power cable, Wi-Fi dongles, all that type of stuff. So the packaging on this is actually basically as good as it possibly can be, which is a really good start. Let's put these boxes off to the side though and actually unbox the gaming PC, because now I'm actually really interested to see how this gaming PC looks, because honestly, I am a little bit more biased to like gaming PCs. I do like them a little bit more than laptops. Inside the box, obviously, we have some more packaging, so the easiest way is probably just to flip this box over. And now you guys should be able to get a little bit of a sneak peek at the gaming PC, and I absolutely love the all white. This actually looks really, really nice, even inside of all this packaging. Obviously, since this is an official seller, I was expecting the packaging to be really good, but yeah, the seller of this gaming PC definitely did a really good job packaging this PC up. And bro, I'm so excited to see how it looks. Even inside, as I'm taking off this packaging, there's even more packaging inside of the gaming PC. So yeah, they did not want anything breaking. They went honestly above and beyond with this gaming PC, which is a really good sign. Obviously, I'm not going to complain about that. But taking off this tempered glass side panel, I'm trying to be like very easy with it because I'm not trying to break it. Let's take off all this and finally get to see how the PC looks. And okay, one small thing I noticed is it doesn't look bad, but we kind of did get clickbaited with the pictures a little bit. In the pictures of the listing, the RAM sticks actually did have RGB, but here they are just kind of ugly like black ones that are like not the most attractive. Definitely don't look as good as it did in the listing photos, which is a little bit concerning. But before we judge it too hard, let's actually put in the graphics card and let's see what version of the 1660 Super they actually gave us, because I'm pretty sure you can get like a single or a dual fan version like we have right over here, which is amazing. And what brand is this from? Okay, so it's just like one of the random Chinese brands that's a little bit unlucky. Obviously, I would have preferred preferred to get an Asus one, but that's not the end of the world. Let's actually just slide this in and connect it, and I'll show you guys how easy it is to do. Literally anyone can do this. First, on the back of the PC, you just have to take these screws out so you can actually open up a spot for the actual GPU, and then we can actually just use the screw that's already in here, just unscrew that, and then it's as simple as lining everything up. It literally only goes in one way, just like that. It works perfectly fine. It's all the way in, and then we have the wire that is already hanging out because obviously they intended for us to add this GPU in. We plug the PCIe in just like that, and then the very last thing we need to do is literally put the screw that we just took out, and you literally have your graphics card fully installed. I think that took like 20 seconds max maybe, but yeah, just like that, we should have our graphics card and everything connected. So let's actually power on the PC and make sure it is all working, because that's like the most important part. And time for the moment of truth. Instantly boots up. That is amazing. And let me see if they actually gave us an RGB remote, or there is actually an LED button over here on the top of the PC, so that isn't working. So I assume we should have an RGB remote in here. Okay, that's bad. I actually don't see an RGB remote, and there is an LED button over here. This is a restart button. So I mean, the RGB looks really, really nice. We have one RGB fan over in the back, two 120mm fans on the top, and then two more over here kind of on the back slash like front panel. But I don't know how to change the RGB. I don't know if you're able to. I honestly love the like full RGB color, but I know a lot of people might want to go for a single color, so I'm not sure. Maybe if I researched the listing a little bit more, it would tell me how to. But I mean, the PC aesthetically, you have to admit, looks very, very nice. I like the aesthetics of the gaming PC overall more than the laptop. It does have way more RGB, obviously, and I mean, I love that we're able to get a white and kind of RGB gaming PC. I love white gaming PCs, if you can't tell. But yeah, what are the specs of this PC? Because when you actually go in depth, the laptop specs might be a little bit better, which is very surprising. So first off, for the RAM, like I mentioned, we have 16 gigabytes of RAM, so it is two 8 gig sticks, which at least that is a positive. However, it actually is DDR3 when I searched more in the listing, and in the gaming laptop, it actually had 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, so it was faster RAM, which actually does make a pretty big difference in gaming, and especially if you're gonna be like streaming or recording on it as well. So yeah, in terms of the RAM, the laptop actually has this gaming PCB. And for the CPU or processor, this also does have a Core i7. However, it is a 4th gen, but they did say it can do up to 4 gigahertz compared to the 2.3 gigahertz inside of the laptop's one, which I'm assuming they're kind of just saying that you can overclock this one to 4 gigahertz. I actually think that the CPU performance inside of here, since it's a 4th gen Core i7, is actually gonna be a little bit worse than the CPU performance inside of the laptop. So that actually is already at like another negative, and I think the laptop actually has a better processor. And then of course we have a 1660 Super inside of here, which is very similar to an RTX 3060 in terms of performance. Even though the RTX 3060 does have double the amount of VRAM, if you actually look at benchmark and gaming tests, the RTX 3060 does have better performance, but the 1660 Super is still really, really good. However, I have to say, in terms of the specs, it honestly looks like the gaming laptop absolutely destroys this gaming PC in pretty much every single realm. And I would say the only advantage of the gaming PC is aesthetics probably, and then probably cooling, because there is just way more space and way more airflow. Plus, since this is brand new, it isn't from a name brand company, but you're still getting like more warranties and stuff like that. So it might be a little bit of a safer buy, but yeah, I mean, you're not getting the 240 hertz screen that you were getting on the laptop either. So honestly, the laptop on paper looks like it might be way better than the gaming PC, but you never know until we actually run it through the exact same test. So let's connect this gaming PC, and your boy here, I'm rooting for this gaming PC. To be completely fair, I'm gonna be running it through the exact same test to see just how much better or worse it performs. And on the exact same benchmark, it looks like we have a 28% gaming score, but that doesn't really matter because it didn't detect the graphics card on the laptop. However, it does look like our CPU, which is not as good as the one in the laptop, it is performing way above expectations, and that probably is because it's brand new. Our GPU, so the GTX 1660 Super, is performing below the potential which isn't the best. And unfortunately, our RAM doesn't really have that good performance. However, this is just kind of to get a rough idea. The best way to actually test the gaming PC out is with a real game. And as soon as we load into Minecraft, it actually looks like we are having a little bit of frame dropping, specifically due to the CPU, because the CPU usage is actually pretty high. However, the biggest difference I noticed is that the temperatures are so much lower, like literally 40 degrees lower on the CPU inside of the gaming PC compared to the laptop. But this is just kind of normal default settings, so we can actually probably get a lot more FPS if we actually lower everything. On the laptop, we were able to get like right under 400 FPS, and now on the gaming PC, it's actually getting almost 700 FPS. We just hit 700 FPS there, and obviously this is just like really low settings, so that was just kind of like a quick test. But it actually seems like the gaming PC does perform a lot better on Minecraft with like these lower settings. Let's actually not go this low, and let's try and like raise the render distance a little bit here. We're still going to keep everything kind of more performance oriented, but yeah, look at this. We're getting like 300 to 500 FPS, and this is a pretty good render distance. I'm even going to stretch it a little bit more. Everything else is on low, but let's actually go like with a quick 16 by 16. So this is actually still low settings, but the render distance is still pretty good, and we're getting like 200 FPS really consistently. So it actually seems a lot better on the gaming PC. Look at how much better the temperatures are since it's a gaming PC and not a gaming laptop. Plus it has like probably like new thermal paste since it isn't used, so that also helps a lot. But yeah, it's way smoother. Even when I'm trying to render in these things, it's way smoother. However, let's actually even try and push it all the way to the max. So this is going to put a little bit of more stress on the GPU, which is the 1660 Super, and it looks like on max settings we're definitely going to be getting more frame drops here, but it actually seems pretty similar, actually better still even on this compared to the gaming laptop. Like the CPU and GPU temperatures are fairly consistent, a lot better compared to the laptop, and the CPU usage is around like 70 to 80%. So yeah, we're pretty much averaging like 200 FPS, like 150 to 200 FPS on high settings, but it does frame drop sometimes. But yeah, I would say that the gaming PC on Minecraft is definitely way better. To be honest, I am completely shocked. I thought the gaming laptop was going to destroy the gaming PC, but at least in Minecraft, the PC definitely outperformed the laptop. The performance of the gaming PC shocked me in Minecraft, but it was even more surprising in Fortnite. We are on 1080p performance mode, all low settings, exact same as the laptop, and dude, it feels so smooth to game on. Like, I think you guys can also see that my builds are also way smoother. I'm actually just way more fluid. It just feels so much better, and my favorite part about it is we're actually able to get 200 FPS like pretty much the whole time, like consistently. Like, it's literally not frame dropping or anything at all. And yes, these are low settings, but like, dude, we're able to get really good FPS, and despite the CPU not being as good, we're still at like 70-80% usage, so it's actually not even bottlenecking the gaming PC. But what I'm actually very interested to do is go back on DX12 low settings in a real Fortnite game and see the performance. I think it's going to be way better. So now that we are on DX12 low settings in the battle bus, we are able to get almost 200 FPS, and skydiving, this is when it's going to have a few frame drops. We're getting like 40 to 60, actually almost 100 FPS, but you are able to see that the bottleneck of this gaming PC is actually not the GPU or the temperatures, it's actually the CPU's performance, just because it is a 4th gen Core i7. But as soon as we actually get to start playing around with it, it actually feels really good. Like, it seems like we're getting around 100-ish FPS, which is actually really good to game on, but it actually seems to be stabilizing at around 100. Plus, this is at the very beginning of the game, and usually at the start of the game, this is when it like frame drops a lot. I'm actually so happy. I was calling it the underdog, but it is definitely absolutely destroying the laptop in terms of performance. Like, it is just way better, and I definitely like gaming PCs way more than gaming laptops, so I'm actually glad that this one is performing better. Honestly, I'm actually getting very used to gaming on this. It actually is not a bad gaming PC to game on at all. Overall, if it wasn't for the CPU, I would say that this gaming PC would be absolutely amazing, especially if we had the CPU from the laptop inside of this PC. But yeah, the only thing that's bad on this gaming PC, if I had to point to one thing specifically, is definitely just the CPU's performance. However, it still is very possible to game on it, and it actually doesn't feel that bad. Another kill right over here. Let's try and snipe one of these guys. Oh, Wait, what? I've never had that happen. The gaming PC just fully shut off. Oh my gosh, I literally did not expect that at all. Like, the gaming PC completely shut off just in a second. What just happened? Dude, it was performing so good and then it just like completely just shut off. Is that a power supply issue? Oh my gosh, did it actually get fried? Wait, I actually completely expected it to turn on as soon as I tried again. Like the power supply might have actually just busted. I've never had that happen on a PC. I'm not even joking. If I try and power on this gaming PC, it's been like a minute and it still doesn't power on. Oh my gosh, wait, it's fully plugged in. I'm gonna let it sit for like 10 minutes or 10 seconds. And now let's try plugging it back in. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it actually broke. I'm not even trying to exaggerate. I have never had that happen on a gaming PC. I'm holding the power button on too. I'm actually shocked. I did not expect that at all. That seems like a power supply issue for sure. I don't even know what to say. It's not like even giving me any signs of life. It literally just fully is dead. Oh my gosh, I'm shocked. I'm literally stuttering on my words. I don't know what to say. That's actually insane. I guess they just used like a really bad power supply. I'm literally holding on the power button and nothing's happening at all. That's actually insane. Well, the gaming PC literally died. So that's insane. I don't even know what to say. So unfortunately, I think it's pretty safe to say that if you want a gaming laptop or PC that performs good in 2026, you're gonna need to spend a little bit more money. But what I definitely could recommend are my mouse pads from Elevate Culture to spice up your gaming setup. They make such a huge difference, and you can also buy keyboard cables or wallpapers, plus soon to be more. If you watched all the way to the end of the video and enjoyed, make sure you drop a sub so we can hit 1 million subs by the end of the year, and more importantly, remember Jesus loves you.